Episode 46, All the Everything podcast. Tim, what is going on, sir? What is going
Oh
on?
man, I am happy to be here. Episode 46. Can you believe
46.
it? Like I wasn't even thinking about it when we did the previous episodes, like how close we're getting to our 50th episode.
I know, right?
That's
And how
so
close we're
amazing.
getting to a year's worth of
Yes.
videos.
I was just
Wow.
getting ready to say that. We have a 1 year coming up. So Billy and I want to do something special for our 1 year anniversary. We haven't really figured that out yet, but stay tuned because we will do something fun for the anniversary.
Absolutely. And if there's anything y'all want to see, you'd be like, hey, throw that idea out there. We'd love to hear from y'all. So go
If you
over
want
onto
behind
Facebook. Yeah.
Don't ask for behind the scenes clips, but trust me, you don't want them. You may think you want them, but you don't want
But
them.
you don't. But you don't.
If you know, you know. And
Yep,
hope to
that's
God
right.
you never know. Yeah, but some major milestones coming up, so I'm very excited about that. We've been
I am
very
too.
diligent. I can't say diligent from the
Diligent.
beginning to make sure we had something for you guys every single week.
That's right.
You know, if that meant bulk recording, which we've been doing this whole week. We haven't really talked about it. This is our
Yep.
second one we're recording. We did a couple more earlier this week.
Yeah. I think this is our 5th episode that we recorded this week.
Bam.
Bam. Wow. We're
That's
just,
a lot.
we're bringing the content, y'all. We're bringing the content. And
We
it's
got
all good too. We're all
Yeah,
good.
they've been amazing. So hope you guys like them also.
Yes.
Anyhow, without patting ourselves on the back for recording
right.
so many times,
Yeah.
we have another very good popular type topic today for our episode, and very excited to get into it. Not just for us, but for you guys to hear this.
That's right.
So I think we should just go for it, brother.
Let's do it.
Well, there ain't nothing to it but to do it. Are you ready, my friend?
You better believe it. Let's get into all the everything, y'all.
All the everything, we've got it all. We've got it all, small, weird or tall. So grab your snacks, sit back, don't stress. Cause Tim and Billy talk about the randomness. Information prone to UFOs will take you where the weirdness goes. It's two guys talking way too loud about stuff that makes no sense, but we're kinda proud.
Well, welcome back to yet another amazing episode of All the Everything podcast. As always, I'm one of your hosts, Tim Sawhook, and I'm joined by my BFF. The guy you found out last week was actually a BF, Bigfoot. But he's here today. We just call him BP. Billy Parchman's in the house. How you doing, buddy?
That was great. Thank you. I'm great. How are you, sir?
I'm doing good. I'm very excited about talking about this today.
This is going to be a fun episode. Yeah.
Yeah. So let me show you and let Billy announce what we're talking about today. Hit him with it.
All right. Well, if you know anything about me, I grew up on the Mississippi Gulf Coast.
Yeah.
And let me just tell you, there's nothing better than just going out to the lake and just casting that line. Make sure you get just the right length there, kind of lower. You go fishing, you just snag that big old catfish, or just I can't, just nostalgia, like just going to Aunt Jenny's, this restaurant in Ocean Springs, Mississippi, and then bringing out that little tin cup of carrots and celery and just that nostalgia there, but then bringing out that fried catfish, y'all.
Wait. Billy, what the flip are you talking about?
Talking about catfish.
No, sir. Catfish stories. Not
catfish. I'm talking about catfishing.
No, about people who get catfish, not actual catfish.
What
kind of stories did you prepare this week?
What?
Wait a minute. We might need to pause this for a second. Verbally abused Billy.
I'm just joking with you.
We got y'all.
I just catfished you.
Dang it, you did. Son of a gun. I fell right for it. That was funny though. Even if you guys didn't like it, it was funny for us, and that's all that really matters.
That's right.
That's how we get through these bulk recordings.
But no,
just a little bit of laughter.
Today we're talking about the dangers and the stories out there of people lie. people aren't who they say they are, especially when you can
Right.
hide behind a screen and kind of say whatever you want. And so, yeah, we are talking and sharing some stories about people who get catfished.
Yeah, it's very sad. Very sad, very
Yep.
scary.
Mm-hmm.
And I hope none of you guys out there have been catfished. But
Yeah.
if you suddenly got 5 new friend requests, it's Billy. He's catfishing you.
No.
He's a bunch of made up names and stuff like
Nope.
that.
Nope.
If you get a friend request from Shaquille O'Neal, it's definitely Billy.
No, it's Shabil O'Neal
Or Shaquille O'Neal, yeah.
or
his brother.
Shaquille O'Bill. Either way.
You can go either way on that, yeah. So if you start getting random friend requests from people, it's definitely Billy.
No.
Trying to catfish you. We
Nope,
did it as
nope,
a
nope.
test leading up to this episode to see who we could catfish from our audience, and it didn't work. We got
No.
arrested. Anyhow, just fresh out of jail, just in time for this podcast. So,
Good thing
So
we
we
did that
both
bulk
have-
recording.
thank God we did. We recorded in jail. It got really scary.
Yep.
Anyhow, we've got 3 great stories a piece today to talk about. And I say great, I don't mean celebrating them like they're fun.
No.
But they are definitely very interesting stories and something to capture your imagination with. But without all that being said, I'm going to jump right into the first one.
Let's go, man.
This is the catfishing of Manti Te'o.
Absolutely.
So a lot of people know this story already, but I'm going to give it to you again. Imagine being on top of the world, college football star, Heisman contender, adored by fans, and then in the blink of an eye, your reputation is destroyed.
Mhm.
Not by drugs, not by gambling, not by crime, but by love. This is the unbelievable catfish story of Manti Te'o and the girlfriend who never existed.
God bless.
I know, this is crazy. So the year is 2012. Manti Te'o isn't just any college football player. He's a superstar. He's Notre Dame's golden boy linebacker, the kid from Hawaii who fought his way to the top of college football. Strong, charismatic, and natural leader. Everybody loved this kid. The Fighting Irish are undefeated. ESPN cameras are on him constantly. He's just not a player. He's a story. And in college football, where mythology often matters just as much as performance, Manti Te'o's is quickly becoming a legend.
Yep.
But what really makes him stand out isn't just the tackles or the interception. It's the narrative that's being told to unfold about his personal life. So the love story. Enter Lene Kekua. According to Te'o, she's a beautiful, kind Polynesian girl just like him. She had gone to Stanford. She was supportive, and she had a heartbreaking story, a tragic car accident that nearly killed her, followed by a leukemia diagnosis. It's almost too much to bear, but through it all, Te'o says they had each other. The media eats it up. 2 young people fighting against life's cruelties, leaning on one another for strength. A football player who isn't just tough on the field, but gentle off of it as well. And then the unthinkable happens. September 2012. Te'o's grandmother dies. Just hours later, he announces that Lene, too, has lost her fight with leukemia. The timing is devastating. The grief is unimaginable. And then comes the moment that cements Te'o's story in college football lore. He plays that night. With the weight of 2 deaths on his shoulder, he steps on that field and leads Notre Dame to victory. Reporters call it heroic. ESPN runs touching tributes. Sports Illustrated calls him courageous. Fans cry. Opponents respect him. His Heisman campaign surges. It is, at that time, the perfect story. But behind the headlines, something isn't adding up. Because while Lene was everywhere in the media, she was nowhere in reality. She never showed up on the sidelines, never appeared in photos with Te'o. She always was on the other line of a text message or a phone call. And the pictures the media used, they weren't hers. They were stolen from another young woman in California who had no idea her face was being plastered across sports broadcasts as the tragic girlfriend of Manti Te'o. Behind the curtain, Lene wasn't real. She was a creation of Renaya Tusakopo, now known as Naya Tusakopo instead of Renaya, sorry, who has built an elaborate online persona using fake accounts, staged photos, and even phone calls with a disguised voice. Could you imagine?
It's evil.
It's pure evil. So think about that. A Heisman contender, one of the most famous athletes in America, had fallen in love with someone who simply just didn't exist. The bomb drops in January 2013. Deadspin, a sports blog known for digging where ESPN doesn't, publishes a shocking expose. In quotes, Manti Te'o's girlfriend, who supposedly died of leukemia, never existed. Overnight, the story explodes. The Golden Boy linebacker is suddenly the punchline of every late-night talk show. Memes spread like wildfire. Commentators can't get enough. Was he in on it? Was all the publicity stunt to gain sympathy votes for the Heisman? Or was he really that naive? Teo, who just months early had been celebrated as America's sweetheart, is humiliated. The jokes cut deep. One headline calls him the most gullible man in sports. Another says he must have been in on it from the start. Even his draft stock suffers. NFL teams whisper, if he can't tell his girlfriend is fake, how's he going to read a defense? He goes from being projected as a top pick to falling in the draft, costing him millions of dollars before his pro career even begins. So for years, the narrative doesn't change. Teo is remembered less for his tackles and more for his fake girlfriend. But then, nearly a decade later, Netflix releases Untold, the girlfriend who didn't exist. For the first time, both Teo and Nea Tusakopo share their stories. Teo comes across not as a fool, but as a victim, finally.
Yeah.
A deeply trusting young man who was manipulated in the most elaborate way possible. Someone who truly believed he was in love, who grieved for a woman who, to him, was extremely real. In Tusakopo, he admits to creating the hoax out of loneliness, confused about his own identity, and a desperate need for connection. The world sees the story differently now, not as a joke, but as a tragedy of trust, manipulation, and the dark side of digital connection. The Manti Te'o case wasn't just a headline, it was a cultural moment. It put the word catfish into the mainstream. It inspired an MTV show. It forced people to ask, in a world where there is so much of our relationships happen online, how do we really know the other people on the other side of the screen? For Teo, the scars remain. He has spoken openly about the anxiety, the trust issues, and the humiliation that followed him for years.
Yeah.
But he also found peace. He's married now with children, and he's completely rebuilt his life. Yet his story remains as a warning that love, when weaponized online, can destroy reputations, careers, and lives. In the final closing here, this wasn't just a catfish, it was a modern fable, proof that in the digital age, reality can be rewritten, trust can be exploited, and sometimes the person you think you love never even existed. Jeez, I remember that happening in real time. I'm sure you do too, being such a college football person too. It was, he went from being, like they said, the golden boy, like he was going to be the chosen one. He was going to take on the NFL, to being a joke. And
do you know how hard it is to be a defensive player and nominated for the Heisman Trophy? It's very rare and very hard. And and like I said, like you said, they had an undefeated season up until the national championship, who they played my Crimson Tide, who actually ran all over them, and we won the national championship. So I'm very invested in
don't
his
take
story.
more pain into his life. All right.
Well, I mean, there was no, it was over really quickly. That was one of the best national championships that, as a fan of a team that, dominates, you don't have to stress. That was not a very stressful game, thankfully, but going into it, they're undefeated or whatever. But you hear them talk about it now. They kind of try to act big, but they all knew Alabama is Alabama. But because I lived that whole season, because, like I said, I'm a avid college football fan. Avid, I live right down the road from Nick Saban. I just bleed crimson, and so all the stories, you follow all the different things, especially if they're contending with your team, and Notre Dame that year was definitely contending. He became that story. And then his grandma dies, and then his girlfriend dies. And then on the hours apart. And then you find out he's being catfished by a dude who would just change his name, and act like this lady for years. And then, he got that. Gosh, could you just imagine just the heartbreak of just, of everything just in general without the public eye on you.
Right.
And
exactly.
This one, millions and millions of people find out. And it's the story of college football, which is huge. And even outside of that, just,
it was pop culture, mainstream.
Sickening. And it definitely did affect him throughout his entire NFL career and cost him millions and millions of dollars. And and he was a legit linebacker. He was really good. And unfortunately,
he was only remembered because of the girlfriend who didn't exist.
And kind of talking about catfish before I go into my story, people think, how could he let that happen?
Right.
Like how do you let that happen? And in this day and age, it's really easy. Because
Especially with AI.
I met my wife. Yeah, especially now with AI, that wasn't even a thing back when, back
Yeah.
then. But I met my wife online back in 2003. We started talking. Okay, so I've told this story before. It's hilarious. I met my wife on hotornot.com. Hotornot.com. And so back in the early 2000s, this was before Facebook. This is kind of during the MySpace age, kind of like the startup of social media, everything.
Got
But
it,
so
yeah.
it's like one of the first things. And I see this beautiful woman, this picture come through and says, the way Hot or Not works, you put your picture on there
Yeah.
and then people rate you 1 to 10 if you're hot or you're not. It's very messes with your mind. But there's also an option. If you find a picture that you like, you could say, yes, I want to meet you. And so it sent me a thing saying, this beautiful girl wants to meet me. And so what I did was I paid the $5 membership fee to get a month membership so I could get her email and send her an email. So we got connected. I paid the best $5 I ever spent, by the way.
I bet.
I paid that. We started talking on AOL Instant Messenger. We had so much in common. I started dating another girl for just a little bit. We kind of stopped talking. It wasn't like we were talking because we had so much in common. We loved silly things, Homestar Runner, all these different things from early 2000 or, and so, but then me and this other girl break up and then we were kind of talking about, oh, this kind of sucks. And then, you know what? We have a lot in common. Why don't we meet up? And so we had just talked on the phone because this is before really, I didn't have a camera on my computer. That was kind of before cell phones had, they were just coming out where they could take pictures online and stuff.
Right.
And so, we had just talked on the phone. And so, she lived in Birmingham. I lived in Mobile. We decided to meet in Prattville. So it was a couple-hour drive for me and almost halfway, a little bit further on my side. But we meet up and I said, we should meet at the Waffle House because I'm thinking if she's not who she says she is, there's somebody at this Waffle House that can protect me. And I kid you not, that I say that as a joke, but I was 100% serious. And so we met at the Waffle House. We had a little dinner. And then we went and saw Elf and then little steak and shake, little steaks and stuff like that. And then it was love. But I could see how easily you could talk to somebody and get those feelings and you kind of ignore red flags. So it could happen. And unfortunately, he was on a public stage. I say all that to say that.
Yeah.
And it's a lot of the stories, you're not on a public stage, but it's still dangerous and it hurts.
Yeah.
So
that's awful. When he showed up to that Waffle House, it was Manti Teo there.
It was Manti Teo. Gosh.
Hi, I'm Michelle.
Hi, Michelle.
You want to go to Elf? Yeah.
You want to go see Elf? Will Ferrell's kind of funny. I like him on SNL. The guy's crazy.
Okay, not to make fun of Manti Teo. I'm sorry.
Sorry.
I just had to throw that in there. All right, sir. What do you got for us?
Okay, so here let's just jump in, and I'm going to kind of go with a little bit of like Reddit because you can find some people's
crazy
stories
stuff,
out there. So I'm going to kind of go with some stories that I found there. All right, so this happened a few years ago, back when I was way too deep into online dating. I matched with this girl named Emily. Her profile looked legit enough. A handful of pictures, all of them showing this gorgeous blonde with a smile that could probably get her out of a parking ticket. She said she was 22, into hiking, dogs, and adventure. The usual checklist. We start talking. Yeah, we start talking, and honestly, it felt effortless. She laughed at my bad jokes, sent me good morning texts before I even woke up, and would randomly drop selfies of her just hanging out at home. But here's the thing. The selfies always looked professional. Perfect lighting, perfect makeup, even when she claimed to be in sweatpants. So after about 2 weeks, I asked if she wanted to video chat. That's when things get a little sketchy. She told me her camera was broken. Okay, let me stop here for a second. if you're ever talking to somebody and they keep making excuses that their camera is broken,
Mm-hmm.
that's a huge, huge red flag.
That's like a common thing in all the stories you hear.
And that's
Yeah.
exactly. So just keep that in the back of your mind. But she still wants to see me, so she convinces me to turn on my camera while she just typed back. I should have belled right then, but love makes you dumb. And I keep telling myself it's just temporary. She'll get her camera fixed. Fast forward another couple of weeks, she's dropping the "we should meet" hint. She says that she lives about 3 hours away in a smaller town. It's one that I've actually heard of. I told her money was tight and I wasn't sure if I could make the trip. And then she goes, "Well, don't worry, I'll send you money for gas." Well, 2 days later, I get an envelope in the mailbox. No note, no return address, just $300 in 20s. And
Dang.
at this point, my friends were like, "Dude, this has got to be some kind of scam. You're going to get murdered." But my brain was like, "Well, hey, free gas money. What's the worst that could happen?" So
Yeah, really.
I drive there, 3 hours of rehearsing of what I'll say. What would I do if this was actually real? How I would tell our kids someday how we met online, blah, 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 like all these things. I pull up to the address she gave me. It's a normal looking house, nothing creepy. And I knock on the door. An older woman answers, like easily mid-50s, apron on,
Mhm.
spatula in hand. And I just stammer out, "Is Emily here?" And she looks at me, tilts her head, and says, "I'm Emily." I swear my soul left my
Oh,
body
no.
for a second. I just stood there trying to process. She was calm, like she's been doing this before. She invited me in like it was the most normal thing in the world.
Mm.
Against all survival instincts, I went inside.
Oh,
What?
no.
What?
Nope.
And here's the wild part. She wasn't even trying to scam money. She showed me binders, like literal binders full of conversations that she's had with other guys under different names, dozens of fake profiles. And she admitted that she's been doing this for years, not to get money, but to feel
What?
young again. And get this, and to collect recipe ideas. She said men would open up to her about their favorite meals, their family dishes, comfort food, and she would write them all down and try to cook them. What?
What the hell's going on?
So I sat there for maybe 10 minutes, completely stunned, before I made the fastest exit of my life. I would say like 15 minutes too late, in my opinion. Drove
Yeah.
3 hours back, didn't stop once. And the kicker, the next day, she texted me like nothing had happened, still pretending to be 22-year-old Emily.
What
That's the day
freak?
I learned 2 lessons. One, if someone says their camera is broken, it's not.
Yeah.
Fact. If the selfies look too good to be true, they probably are. And to this day, every time I see a random stock photo of a good-looking blonde online, I'm just going to assume that it's a 56-year-old woman with a casserole dish. What the literal heck?
That is so messed up. The fact that she didn't even like try to hide it.
I know. She was like, "Oh, this is and oh, here is my book of shame," basically.
Yeah.
Like, "Oh, I've done this hundreds of times. It just makes me feel young." And then I'm gonna cook your favorite meal. So what do you like to eat?
That is insane, dude. I thought you were gonna say when he got there, she was gonna like text him, say, "Sorry, something came up. I wasn't able to make it."
Oh yeah.
Not expect that twist.
Yeah.
If anyone's watching the video, you'll see my mouth drop wide open at that moment. I was like, "Oh my gosh, are you kidding me?"
Oh,
That's insane.
there's stories out there. So we got a couple more for y'all.
Wow,
Jeez Louise, man. Jeez Louise.
that's a crazy one. The fact that
Yeah.
she just admitted everything, because
Yeah.
most of these stories, people don't admit anything.
No,
Like,
yeah.
Even to like the end, they'll deny it. So, all right. So that's a tough one to get over there. So, all right. So the next one's called The Catfishing of Janelle Potter.
Okay.
It's catfishal. Good Lord.
Catfishal. The catfishal account.
Them catfishals are amazing.
Yum.
All right. Yum, yum. All right. So most catfish stories end with heartbreak, embarrassment, or betrayal. But this one, This one ended with gunfire in the mountains of Tennessee. It's the story
Oh,
of
yeah.
Janelle Potter, a lonely woman who spun a web of lies online so twisted it left 2 innocent people dead.
What?
This is a case of catfishing, obsession, and murder.
Oh gosh.
So our story begins in Mountain City, Tennessee, a small, sleepy town tucked into the Appalachian Mountains. This is where Janelle Potter lives with her parents, Marvin and Barbara. Janelle is in her 30s, but she's lived in a very sheltered life. She struggles with health issues. Her parents are overprotective. She doesn't drive, she doesn't work, and she has very few real-world friends. But online, that's a different story. Janelle spends hours every day on Facebook, message boards, and instant messaging. The internet becomes her escape, her window into a bigger world, and her way of making friends that she has never met in person. And this is where the trouble begins. Through Facebook, Janelle reconnects with people from town. She befriends a woman named Billie Jean Hayworth and a man named Billy Payne Jr.
What's up with
They're a
these
young
Billies?
couple. I know a lot of Billies going on.
That's a
They're
Billy.
all trying to get to steal your name. They're a young couple in their 20s, popular, well-liked, and eventually engaged. In 2012, they even have a baby together. But here's the problem. Janelle is infatuated with Billy. She thinks he should be with her, not with Billie Jean.
Oh
And
no.
when Billy and Billie Jean stop talking to her online, when they cut her off, Janelle spirals into jealousy. She starts telling her parents that Billy and Billie Jean are harassing her, that they're bullying her, that they're sending her threatening messages. But here's the truth. None of that was real. Janelle was making everything up. And her parents, they believed every single word. So this is where the story gets really bizarre. Around this time, Janelle's parents start getting emails from someone he called himself Chris. Chris claims to be a CIA agent assigned to protect Janelle, because that seems reasonable, right?
Yeah. Right.
He tells the Potters that Billie Jean and Billy Payne are dangerous, that they're plotting to hurt Janelle, like something must be done. The messages get darker and darker. Chris tells them it's their duty to stop Billy and Billie Jean, and if they don't, Janelle's life will be in danger. Well, the Potters, they believe these emails. They see Chris as an authority figure, a government protector. But here's the twist. Chris doesn't exist. Real shocker. He was Janelle.
What?
What? I didn't see that happening.
What?
She had created a fake CIA persona and was emailing her own parents.
Catfishing her parents.
No doubt, right? Pretending to be the shadowy agent, manipulating them to thinking the couple was a threat. It was catfishing at its darkest, a daughter deceiving her own parents. January 31st, 2012. Billy Payne and Billie Jean are at home with their 7-month-old baby. It's a cold winter morning. Neighbors hear nothing unusual, but inside the house, tragedy strikes. Billy Payne is found shot in the head, execution style, as he lay in bed. Billie Jean is found in another room, also shot dead. Their baby is discovered in her arms, alive, unharmed, but soaked in her mother's blood.
God bless.
I know. The community is horrified. Who could do this? Who would kill 2 young parents and leave their baby crying in the middle of such carnage? The answer would stun everyone. Police began digging into the couple's relationships. They discovered the connection to Janelle Potter. They find the accusations of harassment, the supposed threats, and the mysterious emails from Chris, the CIA agent. The trail leads straight back to Janelle's parents. It turns out Marvin Potter, Janelle's father, had pulled the trigger. And why? Because he believed he was protecting his daughter. Because he believed the CIA wanted him to. And helping him, Janelle. She had manipulated her parents into believing a false narrative so deeply they committed murder for her. It's insane. I mean, it's horrible.
Wow.
During the trial, the truth unraveled. Prosecutors presented evidence that the threatening messages from Billie Jean and Billy Payne never existed. They were completely fabricated by Janelle. The emails from Chris, also Janelle. She had invented the entire CIA persona, even creating multiple accounts to back up his story. It was a manipulation on a chilling scale. Janelle had catfished her own family into committing murder. In 2015, Marvin Potter and Janelle were both convicted of first-degree murder. Janelle was sentenced to life in prison without parole. Her mother, Barbara, was also convicted of conspiracy in the killings. This case shocked the nation. It wasn't just another catfish story about stolen photos or fake romances. This was something way darker. Janelle's catfishing didn't just break hearts, it destroyed lives. 2 young parents were dead. A baby boy would grow up without his mother and father. And all because of jealousy, obsession, and lies typed behind a computer screen.
Mm.
The story became the subject of many TV specials, documentaries, and true crime podcasts because it pushed the limits of what catfishing could do to people. It wasn't
Yeah.
about love. It wasn't about money. It was about power, control, and delusion. Janelle Potter wanted attention. She wanted love. She wanted to be seen as the victim, the fragile flower everyone needed to protect. But in creating her fantasy world, she destroyed a real one. And in the end, two people paid the price with their lives. The catfish isn't always a stranger in the dark. Sometimes it's someone closer than you think. Sometimes it could be your family.
Mm. Mm. That is sickening. Sickening.
I mean,
What?
I don't even. What's wrong with people? Like, how would you get? I mean, this person was obviously deeply disturbed.
Very, yeah.
To allow things to go, to go like that. I just don't get why people. I don't get it. I just really can't understand it.
I can't either. That's just. I mean, that is heartbreaking on so many accounts. It's ridiculous.
As Billy says, God bless.
God bless.
All people who went through that, man. I mean, this is one of those episodes that just aren't really funny, you know.
Right.
But I feel like we owe it to the people to tell their story.
Right.
That's kind of where I'm at with it. So, whoo, deep breath, man. Jeez.
Yep.
He's got heavy up in here. All right, Billy, bring us some more depression.
This next story is the catfish known as Tyler.
Oh,
so it's also a Reddit style story as well.
Go Reddit.
I didn't set out to be catfish. No one ever does. Back in 2016, I was fresh out of a breakup and joined a dating app. That's where I matched with Tyler. He was 28 years old. He worked in IT, and his pictures showed him hiking, playing guitar, hanging out with his dog. Nothing flashy, nothing that seemed fake. And honestly, he looked like a normal guy. We hit it off right away, which usually happens with all these different stories we're saying.
Right.
He wasn't over the top charming, which almost made it feel even more real. We talked every day and night. And after a couple of weeks, I felt like I really knew him. He remembered the little details about my day and sent me pictures on his coffee run and even snapped a shot of his dog sleeping on the couch. But here's where the first red flag happens. Whenever I suggested FaceTiming, he'd dodge it. He'd be like, "Oh, my camera is cracked." Does that sound familiar?
Oh, dear God.
And then it was, "Oh, I hate how I look on video." And then later it became, "Well, I'm just shy." And because everything else seemed genuine, I just let it slide. So after a month, he told me he wanted to come see me. He claimed he lived about 3 hours away. I was nervous but excited. Then the night before he was supposed to drive over, he texted me, "Hey, I just got into a wreck. I'm at the hospital." I panicked. I called him over and over, but he would not pick up. A few hours later, he sent me a photo of himself in a hospital bed, scrubs, IV, the whole deal. I was shaken, but something about the picture looked wrong, too polished. I saved the photo, and the next day I did a reverse image search.
Oh, yeah.
It was a stock photo from a medical supply website. My stomach dropped. That's when I went through everything. The dog photos pulled from an Instagram account belonging to some guy in Colorado. The hiking shots from a travel blog. Piece by piece, his entire identity unraveled. But this is the part that still haunts me. A week later, I got a message from another woman, a stranger, who said that she had also been dating Tyler for months. She had sent him money when he claimed that his rent was overdue. She thought that they were in love. Turns out there was at least 4 of us all talking to Tyler, all being played. Some gave him money for gas. Some gave him money for rent. Others gave him secrets. I gave him my trust. The police were involved, but they told us in these cases, these never go anywhere because technically he hadn't stolen my money. So the best that they could do is I should just cut off contact with him. So to this day, I don't know who Tyler really was. And the worst part, sometimes I still get friend requests from new accounts with familiar looking pictures, different names, different stories, but the same style of messages. And every time I wonder, is it him?
Wow.
Yeah. Oh my gosh.
My first comment is, who has this much time on their hands? If she's messaging 4 different people at the same time, I mean, that's a lot of commitment. I mean,
Yeah.
really.
Yeah. They're just they're going through and oh my
But
gosh.
let's keep it real though. That's so sad.
Yeah, it's very sad. Very sad.
I mean, and like you said, when you're in love or infatuated with someone who gives you attention and stuff, you do look past the cracked
You-
camera and being
Yeah.
shy on camera and all that nonsense.
Yeah. And when you build that emotional connection and stuff,
Yeah.
it's easy to send, oh, let me send you $100 so you can have, some food this week, or, and then you can kind of just build up and then
I'm
oh my
going to send you
gosh.
some money to fix your camera on your phone.
Yeah.
I know a guy. I'm
I
sending
know
him
a
to your
guy.
house.
Yep. God bless.
That's a crazy story, man.
Yep.
And the fact that she found out there was like 4 of them that he was doing, or she was, who don't know.
Mhm.
What a bummer. Okay, here's my final story for the
Okay.
podcast today. This is called The Tall Hot Blonde, the Deadly Catfish. So picture this. Thomas Montgomery, 46 years old. He's a factory machinist in upstate New York, a man who blends into the background, balding, overweight, married with 2 teenage daughters, the kind of guy you pass in the grocery store without even a second glance. But under that plain exterior, Tom is restless. He's middle-aged, stuck in a routine, and he feels invisible, forgotten by his youth, forgotten by excitement. Then one night in 2005, sitting at his computer, Tom logs into an online chat room back in the day. These were the early days of the internet, the wild west of AOL and Yahoo chat rooms before people had any idea how dangerous anonymity could be.
Right.
And that's when he sees her. A username pops up, Tall Hot Blonde. So, of course, you're like, hey.
Hey, that's gotta
Hey,
be
girl.
real.
Yeah. Her name is Jessie. She says she's 18 years old, blonde, athletic, a high school senior who plays softball and volleyball. In her picture profile, gorgeous, smiling, carefree, the kind of girl you expect to see in a college catalog. It's probably because it was a girl from a college
Because it
catalog.
was a girl from a college catalog.
That's funny. Tom can't believe his luck. She's talking to him. But here's the problem. He doesn't tell her who he really is. He doesn't say he's 46, balding, a dad. Instead, he invents someone new called Tommy. Now, Tommy is 20 years old. Tommy is a Marine sniper. Tommy is tall, muscular, confident, the exact opposite of Thomas Montgomery. And Jessie, she buys it, or at least she's playing along. The two start talking every day. What becomes a playful chatting turns into hours-long conversations, flirty messages, intimate confessions. Jessie sends photos of herself. Jessie sends photos of herself in bikinis, holding up signs with Tommy's name. Tommy spins elaborate stories about his missions overseas. And before long, they're in love.
Oh.
Yeah, that's how it goes. So Tom tells her he wants to marry her.
Oh.
Jessie says she wants the same. They talk about kids, a future together. And Thomas Montgomery, the middle-aged man in a loveless marriage, begins living for the fantasy. At first, it's just an online escape, but soon, Montgomery can't separate fantasy from reality. He starts calling himself Tommy in real life. Who's going to buy that one? They're like, dude, we know your name. In one of his secret journals, police later found a chilling entry. On January 2nd, 2007, Tom Montgomery dies. Tommy takes over. Tommy is 18 forever now. Think about that. He wasn't just and his age.
And your
Like,
age.
I'm 18. So think about that for a minute. He wasn't just role playing anymore. He wanted to erase himself. He wanted to kill off Thomas, the aging father and husband, and replace himself with Tommy, the young Marine loved by a beautiful teenage girl. It's delusional. It's disturbing. But in Tom's mind, it was salvation until the lie cracks. One day, Tom's wife stumbles across the chats. That's not good.
Yeah.
She finds the emails, the love notes, the photos. She's furious. She decides Jessie deserves to know the truth. So she sends Jessie a message of her own. Here's the message. You think you're talking to a 20-year-old Marine? You're not. He's 46. He's my husband. He has 2 daughters your age. He's been lying to you from the beginning. For Jessie, the illusion shatters. At this point, you expect Jessie to cut off all ties, but instead, she pivots. Not long after, she starts chatting with someone else from Tom's workplace, Brian Barrett. Now, Brian is 22, handsome, single, a co-worker at the same factory. And unlike Tom, Brian doesn't have to lie about being young. He is young. So Jesse and Brian begin a new flirtation. And what does Jesse do? She rubs it right into Tom's face. She taunts him in messages, tells him Brian is everything Tommy pretended to be, but real. That she's done wasting time on liars. Montgomery spirals. The fantasy that kept him alive is now a nightmare. He's lost Jesse to a younger man, and worse, it's a man that works right beside him. The rivalry becomes toxic. Jesse fans the flames, sending messages that pit the men against each other. Tom sees with jealousy. Brian mocks him. What started as a fantasy love affair has become a powder keg. Take us to September 5th, 2006. Brian finishes his shift at the factory. He tells a coworker he's got plans later, maybe to meet up with Jesse in person. He's in great spirits. But as he walks to his truck in the parking lot, someone is waiting in the shadows. A rifle lifts. A finger squeezes the trigger. Brian collapses behind the wheel, shot 3 times. He dies instantly.
Oh my gosh.
I know. The factory is stunned. A young man gunned down in cold blood, and suspicion immediately turns to Thomas Montgomery, the jealous coworker, the man who lost Jesse to Brian. Police search his house. They find the rifle. They find his journals. They find messages after messages, but dripping with anger and obsession. Montgomery is arrested. Here's where the story gets even darker. During the investigation, police finally trace Tall Hot Blonde. They expect to find Jesse, the bubbly blonde teenager whose photos who ignited the whole chain of events. But when they knock on the door, it's not Jesse who answers. It's Manti Te'o. No, I'm just kidding. It's not. Sorry. When they knock on the door, it's not Jesse who answers. It's Mary Schuyler. Now, Mary is a middle-aged woman, a mother of 2, and the photos of Jesse, they weren't hers. They belonged to her teenage daughter. How sick is that? So Mary had been using her daughter's identity to catfish men online, to feel young again, to manipulate, to play puppet master. And she had manipulated not 1, but 2 men, Montgomery and Barrett, into a deadly rivalry. Montgomery pled guilty to second-degree murder. He was sentenced to 20 years in prison. And for Mary Schuyler, despite being the catalyst, she was never charged with a crime. Catfishing wasn't illegal. You just mentioned that before. Pretending to be someone else online wasn't a crime. Legally, she walked free. Morally, she destroyed 2 families, and a young man was dead because of her lies.
Yep.
The case made national headlines. It shocked the public because it was one of the first times people realized catfishing isn't just a prank. It isn't just heartbreak. It can kill.
It really can.
It can. The story was turned into a documentary called Tall Hot Blonde, which revealed the layers of lies, the manipulation, and the fatal consequences of living too deeply in an online fantasy. So in closing, they say this wasn't just a catfish. It was murder built on pixels and lies to show us the danger of anonymity, the way people can reinvent themselves, lose themselves, and drag others down with them. Thomas Montgomery thought he was escaping his boring life by becoming Tommy. Jesse thought she was falling in love with a Marine hero, but in the end, none of it was real. And one man paid with his life for a love story that never, ever existed.
Oh, man.
That's a crazy story.
Wow.
There's actually a good documentary they talk about this. And when I pulled up the story, I was like, oh, I've seen this on TV before. The story is just insane, as you heard. There's people catfishing each other.
Yeah, the double catfish right there.
Double catfish.
The double, yeah. Wow.
I mean, it's crazy. And the wife finds it all, and she tells them, and like it's just so many layers to this. But again, like people lying about who they are ended up killing somebody.
Man,
it's just absolutely horrible.
Wow.
Absolutely horrible. So, whew, I'm glad I'm done with my heavy part of talking. Bill, you ready to bring us out another notch?
Yep, I got one more story. This one's weird. This is not.
It's weird.
Not as intense. It's a lot more manageable.
All right, everybody, take a deep breath out there. Inhale.
Yeah, because
we can get through it together, guys.
Yeah, because this is another Reddit style from the point of view of the person.
Okay.
So no crimes, no crimes.
No crimes.
Okay, here we go.
Right.
This is entitled "The Catfish Wedding Invite."
Oh.
Okay. Yep. A couple of years ago, I got catfished in the most ridiculous way possible. Not for money, not for romance, for a wedding invite. So I met this girl online. Her name was Rachel. She wasn't drop dead gorgeous, but she felt legit. Like her profile pictures and everything looked like a normal girl. The girl next door, she had some group shots, a couple of posts about her dog, which also has been a common scenario here.
Oh yeah.
She had some brunch pictures, totally believable. She messaged me first and thought that I was cute. Oh, and so we started talking. At first, it was fun. She'd send me memes. We talk about movies. She called me once, but the call only lasted for 30 seconds before she claimed her phone died. Red flag, I'm sure. I brushed it off.
Broke. Yeah.
Yep. Then things got weird. After about a month, Rachel started talking about her cousin's wedding. She casually dropped comments like, "You would look good in a suit. Maybe you should be my date." I laughed it off, but she kept bringing it up. Eventually, she straight up asked me to the wedding. Now, I've never met this girl in person, but she gave me a date, a time, an address to a venue downtown. I was curious and honestly kind of stupid, so I went. I showed up in a suit, gift card in hand, expecting to finally meet Rachel. But then when I walk in, it's a real wedding, decorations, food, music, all of it. The only problem is no one there has any idea who Rachel is. I try to explain to the bride's family that I was invited by Rachel. Blank stares. They thought I was some kind of wedding crasher. At one point, the groom's uncle even asked me if I was an ex-boyfriend trying to cause drama. Humiliated, I left about 20 minutes. But the story doesn't end there. The next day, Rachel messaged me like nothing happened. "Sorry, I didn't see you. Did you have fun?" I told her the truth. Nobody at the wedding even knew who you were. You know what she said? "LOL, yeah, I do that sometimes." Do
Wait, what?
Invite strangers to random weddings? That's when it clicked. Rachel wasn't a real person. She was somebody who makes fake profiles, lures people in, and then sends them to events that she wasn't even a part of. Why? I still don't know. Maybe for laughs, maybe for chaos. I block, right? What? I block her right away. But to this day, whenever I get a wedding invite, I double check that I actually know the bride or groom. Because thanks to Rachel, I once walked into a stranger's wedding dressed like a groomsman, holding a $50 Olive Garden card. What?
Oh my gosh.
What? Like I said, a lot less severe. $50 Olive Garden card, some embarrassment at a event. But who does that?
That's so messed up. And then people were like confronting you at the wedding. "Are you here to cause trouble, son?
Oh,
get out of here."
Go get. Oh my goodness.
That is crazy. That one is definitely a lot less violent and depressing, but still, just the lengths that people go to, man. This is crazy.
Yeah, we share all of this to be a light in the online community, if you will, I guess.
Yeah.
Put your guard up. Be cautious. Be smart. I say that after meeting my wife on a blind date from the internet too. So do as I say, not as I do.
Yeah, exactly. And if someone says their camera's broken, go on and get out of there.
Go get some rough talking. If you listened to last week's episode.
Oh my gosh, that was so funny. But yeah, I reason we want to do this today because these stories they're interesting. They're interesting to hear, but again, these are real people, real lives that things happen to them. So we do feel bad for them, especially people that lost their lives. But I hope you guys, I don't want to say enjoyed listening, but I hope it was a good listen for you and maybe give you a better insight on catfishing and stuff. And anyhow, so thanks for joining us today. If you've been catfished before or a catfish story, Billy, where can they reach out and find out and tell us all about those stories?
Yeah, head on over to Facebook or Instagram or YouTube or X or TikTok at All the Everything Podcast. We would love to hear from you all.
Oh, hold on a second. I just got invited to a wedding. No, I'm just
kidding. Snap.
Oh, yeah, I'm going.
Hooray.
They said they like Olive Garden, so we're going to bring them a gift card.
Oh, nice.
But yeah, I hope you guys really enjoyed the episode today. And we want to thank you for listening. We appreciate you guys, everyone out there who's that download button or whatever you listen or watch on YouTube. If you haven't watched, come join us. Yes, a lot of fun goes down here. So But anyhow, again, thanks for joining us for another amazing episode of All the Everything Podcast. I hope you guys have an amazing day, and we'll see you next time.
Bye, y'all.